One badge, two souls. One is a supercar in disguise, defined by the air it breathes and the connection it offers. The other is a luxury powerhouse, defined by the batteries it carries and the heavy, crushing path it carves. One was built to be felt, the other was built to be commanded. One is the raw, unbuffered V8 legacy, and the other is the 2.5-ton contradiction that traded its mechanical soul for a charging cable and a digital soundtrack. If you asked an M5 who it is, you wouldn't get a single answer. You'd get a haunting. First, you'd hear the voice of the M5 CS, the last of the purists. It would tell you, I am the high water mark. I am surgical precision and balletic direction changes. I am a rigorous weight reduction program made flesh, shaving 230 pounds of fat to leave nothing but muscle. I don't assist you, I amplify you. I am that 635 horsepower glove that shrinks around you until the steel and carbon simply vanish. I am the feeling of Alcantara under sweaty palms and the direct, unbuffered feedback of the road vibrating through your spine. Your girlfriend always hated me, didn't she? She was jealous of the way you looked at me, the way you'd wake up early just to spend an hour alone with me on a cold mountain road. I was always louder than her anyway. I am the unfiltered monster that speaks through a stainless steel exhaust, delivering a raw, mechanical V8 scream, a jagged, metallic heartbeat that no speaker can replicate. I am the ultimate driving machine in its final, most concentrated form. But then the air in the room would grow heavy. The lights would flicker, and a new, synthetic voice would drown out the roar. The G90 would step out of the shadows, shaking the floor with its 5,400-pound presence, and say, I am the new order. I am not here to dance for you. I am here to dominate. I am a 2.5-ton fortress, a heavy, inevitable force that glides as an electric ghost through the cities where my ancestors are now banned. I don't wrap around you. I house you. I am the proof that physics can be bought and subverted with enough software and rear axle steering to mask my massive weight. Your wife loves me, doesn't she? She loves the quiet cabin, the soft ride, and the fact that I don't demand your full attention. I am the peace of mind she always wanted you to have. My voice is not a scream, but a digital thunder, a composed symphony of iconic sounds pumped through a cabin that isolates you from the world I am busy crushing. I am the heavy, high-speed command center that doesn't need feel when it has this much force. We aren't comparing trim levels. We are performing a forensic analysis on a murder scene. The M5 CS was the peak of the mountain, a car that proved BMW still knew how to defy physics by cutting the fat and sharpening the blade. It was the ultimate driving machine at its absolute zenith. Now what do we have? The G90, a car that didn't just evolve, it surrendered. It traded carbon fiber for copper wiring and surgical precision for unadulterated mass. People call the G90 menacing, but a bulldozer is menacing. A storage container is menacing. The CS is a predator. The G90 is a heavy, blocky monument to corporate compromise. Is it fair? It's more than fair. It's an obligation. If the new standard for an M5 is a car that is officially slower than its predecessor, heavier than an F-150, and looks like a generic commuter car wearing an aggressive Halloween mask, then we aren't just comparing two cars. We are exposing the moment the M division lost its way. So, stop asking if it's fair. Ask why BMW thought they could replace a 635 horsepower glove with a 5,400-pound anchor and expect us not to notice. Let's talk about this face. BMW used to be the master of clean lines and focused intent. This is a riot of angles and textures. It looks like a car designed by a committee that couldn't agree on a shape, so they just used all of them at once. Look at those lower air intakes. They aren't elegant, they're gaping, angry holes that look like they're trying to swallow small animals whole just to feed that massive hybrid appetite. There is so much cheap, gloss black plastic around the chin, it looks like the car is wearing a dollar store Halloween mask. It's not performance grade, it's Play-Doh grade. On the CS, that front splitter is a sharp, carbon fiber blade designed to slice through the air. On the G90, it's a sea of fragile, shiny plastic that looks like it belongs on a microwave, not a supercar. It's not there for downforce, it's there to hide the bulk. And the kidney grills? Thank God we were spared the beaver teeth of the 4 Series, but these are even weirder. They're pushed so high up they look like they're trying to escape the car's own face. They've got these horizontal slats that don't line up with anything. It's like the designers had a screaming match about whether to go vertical or horizontal and settled on doing both badly. While the CS stares you down with those legendary yellow-tinted racing eyes, a wolf stalking its prey, the G90 flickers its light-up, iconic glow grille like a cheap motel sign. It's not a heritage statement. It's a ring light for an influencer's TikTok. The whole front end is just a collage of conflicting ideas. You've got these aggressive power domes on the hood that lead down to a bumper so complex it looks like a Lego Technic set that someone gave up on halfway through. But even the hood is a lie. On the CS, you have literal vents cut into unpainted carbon fiber to let the heat out. On the G90, you have massive, bulging domes that lead nowhere. It's the automotive equivalent of wearing a padded muscle suit to the gym. People are calling it a whale shark because of that massive, gaping mouth. It's a 5,400-pound bottom feeder. It's lost the menace. It's not a wolf in sheep's clothing anymore. It's a very confused, very angry pig in a slightly ill-fitting tuxedo. But as busy as the front is, wait until we look at the side profile and discuss the pregnant hippo stance. If the front of the M5 is busy, the side profile is just exhausted. Usually, an M5 side view is about tension, muscles ready to spring. But the G90 looks like it's struggling to contain its own bulk. We already mentioned it weighs more than a Ford F-150, but looking at it from the side, you can actually see the physics of that 2.5-ton battery pack winning the war. Look at these slab-sided doors. BMW used to have the sick line, a sharp, elegant crease that gave the car direction. On the G90, it's gone. It's just vast, boring expanses of metal. It doesn't look like a sleek super sedan, it looks like an armored personnel carrier that someone tried to polish for a wedding. The car has a battery basement that makes the body so deep it's lost its silhouette. It's not a sedan, it's a luxury crossover that's been sat on by an elephant. And then we get to the ultimate BMW design sin, the Hofmeister kink. For decades, this was a signature of class. On this car, they've replaced elegance with a cheap, plastic identity crisis. There's this thick, black trim with an embossed 5. Why? Did BMW forget what car they were building? Its adolescent design, the automotive equivalent of a 50-year-old man wearing a backwards baseball cap to prove he's still cool. Then there are the side skirts. They stick out so far and so awkwardly that it's not a car, it's an obstacle course. And check the vent area behind the front wheel. On the CS, that's a functional carbon fiber exit for high-pressure air. On the G90, it's just nothing. They'll tell you this is modernism, but true modernism was the M5 CS. It had the sick line, a sharp, divine crease that directed the eye like water flowing over a river stone. It gave the metal a sense of movement and life, tracing the car's curves with the elegance of a silk ribbon. On the G90, that flow is dead. The water has hit a dam. It's just a vast, stagnant expanse of sheet metal that feels heavy and uninspired. Because they lost that liquid grace, they couldn't integrate a functional vent. On a surface this flat and lifeless, a vent wouldn't look like a performance detail. And look at the wheels. They're 21 inches, objectively massive, but because the car is so bloated, they look like they're being swallowed by the fenders. It gives the car that pregnant hippo stance. It's wide, but it's not planted. It just looks like it's sagging under the heavy, crushing weight of its own hybrid ego. When you look at the M5 CS, you see a car that spent its life in a wind tunnel and a gym. When you look at this G90, you see a car that went to an all-you-can-eat buffet and then tried to squeeze into a slim-fit suit. It's big back design at its absolute worst. But as bad as the side is, just wait until we get to the rear. If you thought the M2 diaper was a disaster, wait until you see the M5 Thong. If you thought the M2 diaper was a design low point, welcome to the G90 M5's Thong. I'm not even joking, that is the actual nickname the community has given this thing. Look at this rear bumper. Instead of a muscular, cohesive finish, we get this massive expanse of plastic cladding that swallows up 70% of the rear view. And right in the middle, a tiny, lonely little V of body-colored paint. It looks like the car is wearing a G-string over a very large plastic backside. It's not aggressive, it's embarrassing. It's like BMW tried to hide the car's big back by wearing slimming Spanx, but they forgot to cover the middle. Compare this to the M5 CS, where the rear is a masterclass in carbon fiber. The CS diffuser is a sharp, functional blade that frames those quad exhaust tips like a piece of jewelry. The G90? It's just a plastic basement. And then there are the taillights. They've gone for these ultra-slim, squinty units that look completely lost on a car this wide. People are calling them Camry-esque, and they're being generous. There's no heritage here. It's just generic, horizontal lines with zero personality. It's the kind of design you see on a rental car at the airport, not a legendary M car. Because the lights are so thin and pushed to the edges, it leaves this massive, flat void of sheet metal on the trunk. It's a Zumwalt-class destroyer aesthetic, flat, industrial, and cold. Regardless of what color you paint it, the trunk doesn't look like it belongs on a luxury car. It looks like the rear hatch of a cargo plane that forgot to close. And look at these vertical reflectors on the edges. They're stuck in these weird, flared-out ears, a last-minute fix for a panel that clearly didn't fit the first time. It's messy. It's cluttered. On the CS, the rear is defined by the sound of that titanium exhaust and the sight of that aggressive carbon fiber lip. On the G90, you're just staring at a wall of plastic and a set of exhaust tips that look like they're being swallowed by a black hole. Between the fake vents, the massive diffuser, and the Thong paint job, 5 different design languages are fighting for territory on a single bumper, and they're all losing. It's the final proof that BMW didn't design a car. They designed a 5,400-pound contradiction. So, what is the 2026 BMW M5? Honestly, Chris Harris said it best. This isn't an M5, it's an M7. It's a 5,400-pound luxury cruiser that's trying to play dress-up as a sports sedan. It is big-back design at its absolute peak. Mechanically, the hybrid tech is impressive on paper, but visually, it's a spit in the face of the understated, sleeper charm that made the M5 a legend. This is factory-installed rice. It's a loud design for people who want to be seen at the valet stand, not for people who actually want to pilot a precision instrument. While the M5 CS was a scalpel wrapped in silk, the G90 is a sledgehammer wrapped in plastic. If you're still planning to buy one, do yourself a favor. Buy it in black. It's the only way to hide the thong, the cheap plastic triangle on the pillar, and the fact that you're driving a car that has its own gravitational pull. Black is the only color that can camouflage the sheer amount of bad ideas happening on this bodywork. BMW didn't build a new king. They built a heavy, overstyled statement piece for a world that's forgotten what elegance means. It's not a wolf in sheep's clothing anymore. It's a tank in a tracksuit. And frankly, the tracksuit doesn't fit. With this car, we haven't just gained a hybrid. We've officially lost the ultimate driving machine. We've traded the soul of the driver for the convenience of the passenger, and in doing so, we've buried the very thing that made the M-badge holy. If you enjoyed watching me dismantle 2.5 tons of German engineering more than BMW enjoyed adding 1,000 pounds of batteries to a sedan, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's the only thing in this video that's actually lightweight and free of charge.